PRC, quality service since 1972. Repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Thursday, the 26th day of February. James Spann here. Very interesting storm system coming up with just all kind of modes of active weather possible. A lot to talk about. Let's get right to it. Let's take a look at some Skycam shots around the network this afternoon. That's the view coming from the top of the Daniel building. Yeah, a little bit of sunshine breaking through. That's always good to see, and temperatures have warmed up nicely. That's the Gadsden Skycam. The sky mostly cloudy there in Etowah County, and way down south, Gulf of Mexico looking good. That's the view from the top of the Phoenix All Suites. Well, things are quiet for now. That's the water vapor satellite shot, but again, all that's going to be changing with a strong impulse diving down from the north. You can see that crossing the Canadian border. Now, these temperatures are at midday at noon. In fact, already at that point, Alabaster was up to 70. That's actually coming from the Shelby County Airport, which is technically in Calera. 64 for Birmingham, and mid to upper 60s elsewhere. Most folks are going to be close to 70 today. Good rains coming up with this system. We'll have to watch for, in fact, the possibility of locally heavy rain. This is the rain through Tuesday morning of next week. And by golly, the bullseye right on top of us. And again, it's hard to identify at this stage of the game whether it lines up over the Tennessee Valley or down here, maybe farther south. But this is suggesting we could see some 4-inch rain totals. I think we can promise 1 to 2 and say locally heavier amounts greater than 2 at this point. And once the heavier rain band lines up, we'll know that. Don't think flash flooding will be a major problem simply because the soil is not saturated. We can take a lot of water, and quite frankly, we could use a lot of water. We're deficient in rain for the year by 1.5 inches. For the rest of today and tonight, a convective outlook for day one. That's a slight risk of severe weather from the northeastern tip of Texas up into parts of the Midwest. That includes Little Rock and St. Louis. And tomorrow, there's your slight risk. It includes a large chunk of Alabama, except the southeastern corner, almost all of Mississippi and parts of the adjacent states. There's the probabilities. The 30% area runs from Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, Tuscaloosa, down to Jackson, and Monroe, Louisiana, almost down to New Orleans, down to Slidell. And again, I'm just not convinced it's going to be a big issue. But remember, with thunderstorms, expect the unexpected. We'll drill deeper into that as we go along. In fact, let's just get right to it. What do you say? Look at modeling here. This is the 12Z GFS at noon tomorrow. The strong vortex that's going to set the stage for a wild weekend is diving down through the Dakotas and Nebraska. Down below that, the surface front with that lead wave is edging down into North Alabama. And this is suggesting some pretty good rains could set up maybe as early as midday tomorrow north of Birmingham. And it slowly sags to the south. We'll look at some of the severe weather parameters, and again, this just will not, knock your socks off here. The instability values are somewhat marginal. The highest instability there only about, 500 to 750 joules. This is Friday evening, tomorrow evening, but around 6 o'clock. And even the helicity on this run, not nearly as high as previous runs. Yes, there is some there, no doubt. And again, where there is a surface boundary that could create some backing of the wind in the lower levels and maybe get a few rotating updrafts. But again, the numbers just are not that overly impressive. I think it's just going to be a good rain event. But having said that, we'll be on our toes for any potential severe weather tomorrow night. Saturday, look at that bowling ball rolling at us like we're just pins in the alley waiting for that thing to get here. It's over Fayetteville, Arkansas at midday. A surface wave is on the front moving through Georgia. This is suggesting with the dynamic cooling from the system, we could see some snow Saturday to the northwest of here, maybe St. Louis down to Memphis. And look at Saturday night at midnight. Goodness gracious. Very deep cold core upper low right on top of us. And down below that, the main surface low is on the Atlantic coast underneath the cold pool. That suggests it's going to snow here. I mean, no beating around the bush. And then Sunday, that thing rotates over into southeastern Georgia, and the snow winds down at midday Sunday. So look at the NAM. This is the accumulated snow off that the 12Z run, and this is suggesting snow amounts in the Birmingham metro of 2 to 3 inches. Amounts of 3 to 4 inches in spots up north over the Tennessee Valley, and amounts of over 1 inch, maybe as far south as Camden, Hayneville, and Montgomery. Now, let me just say up front, there is very little skill in identifying areas of heaviest snow underneath one of these things. They are very problematic. A lot of times where you think you're going to get it, you get nothing. And other folks just get slammed with more snow than you ever imagined from these things. I could easily see somebody getting 5 inches or more, but it might be Nashville or Atlanta. So we're not going to go whole hog on this. We're just going to mention a chance of snow Saturday night into early Sunday, and we'll fine-tune that as the event gets closer and not even think about trying to forecast accumulation at this point. And then the rest of the day, Sunday, will be cold with a high only in the 40s. Monday of next week, we are cool and dry. We'll be in the 20s, we think, to start the day. Tuesday, we start to warm up in the 60s. Wednesday, that idea of a secondary push of cold air really not there anymore. Looks pretty comfortable. Same deal Thursday of next week. And we'll jump out there to the end of the forecast. This is March the 14th. And again, this is voodoo country. We all know that. Western Trough, Eastern Ridge. We've seen all kind of looks out there, but changeable, I think, is the key word. And this is the time of the year where just about anything goes. And this weekend is a classic example. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this afternoon. Notes on the blog. The next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And, of course, we invite you to watch us on television this evening. ABC 3340 News at 5, 6, and 10. Again, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless.